You may guess what this edition of Hockey Talk is all about. It happened on November 11th of this year, 2019. It's a disgrace. Sportsnet will know who I'm talking about. You, the fans at home, will know who I'm talking about. Don Cherry. Don Cherry's dismissal from Hockey Night Canada and Sportsnet. And I gotta tell you something, this is gonna be the biggest disgrace and the biggest upset and insult to the entire country of Canada. Fired, believe it or not, fired on November the 11th, Remembrance Day, because he stood up for what he believed in and he spoke his opinion. And when you look at Don Cherry's comments on what he had to say, it wasn't that bad at all. All he said was, you people at home, do not wear your poppies is what you should do, and you're not paying the proper respect to your war veterans who fought and gave their lives for you at home to live the lifestyle that you're living today, and for you at home to have the freedom and democracy which you have at home today also. You people who come from other countries to come here and live in Canada, it's the least what you can do is wear a poppy to pay respect to the fallen soldiers and to the current soldiers who go to war, fight for our very freedom, how you live today. And if it wasn't for those men and women in uniform, God love them, you would not be living the lifestyle that you live today. And all of you idiots back there at Sportsnet, I don't care. No, I don't care. I don't care. You guys are a bunch of jerks. You picked a battle with a hockey icon, Don Cherry, and that idiot back there at Hockey Night Canada, what's his name there, Ron McLean, the biggest backstabber of them all. I'm telling you, he's going to be the biggest Canadian backstabber of them all. He had a phone call from the holy grail of hockey gods, Bobby Orr, and let me tell you something, Bobby Orr let Ron McLean get an earful that night. Let me tell you, I don't care. Don Cherry was there when CBC was going to fire Ron McLean a few years back, if you all remember. It was Don Cherry who saved Ron McLean, and when Don Cherry needed to saving, where did Ron McLean go and what did he do? He turned his back on Don Cherry, and he left Don high and dry, and he left him to die like a savage. Don Cherry deserved better. Don Cherry, in my opinion, God love him. I love him. I love everything what he stands for. He actually taught me how to become a better hockey player, believe it or not. He actually did. Keep your head up. I don't know how many times I tell younger kids when you're playing hockey, whatever you do, don't go on the ice with your head down because you're going to get your head taken off every time. Especially when you cut across center ice. There's always a player there to take you out. Don Cherry is what made me become the better player of them all, believe it or not. And for all you jerks at Sportsnet, you should be ashamed of yourself on Remembrance Day of all things. And Don Cherry, God love you. I love you. I love everything you stand for. Keep up the good work. And I'm going to get back to you soon here because I'm going to go to my next topic. Mike Babcock. Mike Babcock. When Toronto fired Mike Babcock, they basically thrown a good hockey coach away. Mike Babcock was not the problem in Toronto. It's the players what he has on the ice. They're overrated, they're overpaid, they're highly talented, and they're not bringing what they have to the ice as what they should. Fans are spending too much money to look at this garbage and what they're getting on the ice. And something has to be done, and I do not believe Mike Babcock was the appropriate person to be sacrificed when Toronto sacrificed him. Brendan Shanahan, God love him, this was an awful predicament he was in. He had to do what he had to do. If not, Brendan Shanahan's job is going to be on the line. What they should have did was Nylander. William Nylander. For the love of God, they should never have signed him. They should have let him go. Send him to Montreal, bring in Carey Price, because Carey Price needed a fresh start. And look at Austin Matthews. He's not bringing to the table what he says he can. He's overpaid. If I was the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'd look at Austin Matthews. You either sharpen your skates or we're putting you on the chopping block and you're gone. Tavares, John Tavares, you're the leader of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're the leader of the ship. Guide your team in a better way. And for the love of God, stop putting your coach on the chopping block like you guys did. It's a crying shame. Mike Babcock, he's only going to go to another team and he's going to win the Stanley Cup somewhere else. I mean, I like the guy, Mike Babcock. He speaks his opinion. That's what I like about him, and he doesn't back down from these brown-nosers who like to stick their nose in other people's business. Remember the time he was going to come from Detroit to Toronto when his contract was almost up? He told the press to go away. I got a contract here with Detroit. I'm going to finish it off. That's what you got to do. And that's what I like about Mike Babcock. Gary Bettman. What he should be doing because of Don Cherry's termination, help fund Don Cherry's podcast, make it televised so people can see it. Until Don Cherry decides to pack her in, it's at least what the NHL can do for a hockey icon like Don Cherry. So, Gary, if you're watching, God love you. Come out, try to help Don Cherry. Ask him if he could use some funding to keep Heavy Show back on the air. Or even CBC, come and air it on a certain time frame. Hockey Coach's Corner, or whatever you want to call it. The Grapevine. And bring Don back on television. Just not leave him high and dry, let him fade away. We don't want this. He's a hockey icon. He deserves better. And Ron McLean, if you're watching, you're a disgrace, you're an insult, you're a disgrace to the Canadian flag, and you're a disgrace to our Canadian national heritage. All you people at home, if you're working with somebody, no matter what it is, never ever leave your coworkers to die like Ron McLean did to Don Cherry. Don Cherry was a workhorse. He saved Ron McLean, and Ron McLean returns the favor by letting Don die out there in the field. It's a disgrace. It really is. So here on Hockey Talk, it was completely dedicated to Don Cherry, and I'm going to end this segment.
People, let me just pursue 2 points, because a lot of people who are Leaf supporters think this is a conspiracy to get the LA Kings into the final.
Hey.
Oh, you agree with that? Well, that's ridiculous to agree with that.
I didn't agree with none. I just said, hey, you said it, not me.
No. Well, so you disagree or you agree with the fans that feel that way?
Hey, you're telling the story, kid.
Oh, I said a lot of people feel that way who are supporting the Leafs, understandably. No, of course not.
Oh.
The other question is about the other night in overtime.
Yes.
The Wayne Gretzky high stake. I'm sure the fan would like to hear your point on that.
I've been home now for 24 hours. I must have been asked 9,000 times about that incident. We don't have it. But I want to talk about it. Figure it out. Here's a guy who gets 8 stitches. 8 stitches in his chin. What happened? Who did it? Nobody knows, okay? Nobody knows, okay? So here's what happens. The referee calls the guy over. He says, did you see what happened? No, it's not my side. Did you see what happened? Well, wait a minute. If I tell you, that means 5-minute major. If the linesman says 5-minute major...
No, it could be a 4-minute penalty.
Yeah, he's got, anyhow, going into overtime, Gretzky, verge of elimination. So what do we do? What do they say? What do we do? How about he gets hit with the puck? Gets hit with the puck. He's laying on the... Before he hits the thing, the only way he hit with the puck is if his chin was on the ice. Anyhow, that's all I got to say about that. Gets the overtime winner, and that's wrong as far as I'm concerned. Anderchuk got a 5-minute major. He should have got something. At least a slap on the wrist or a dirty look.
Well, period. It's a missed call. And 3 guys missed it, and that should concern the NHL. It's just the way it goes, though.